All right, first and foremost, John, how are you, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great, Dustin. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be on here and be here with you today talking. I'm doing great. Just wrapped up a wonderful weekend of television stuff for Championship Wrestling out here in Hollywood, and really stoked that we're going to be presenting some new stuff soon.
Oh, man, you're not the only one that's stoked. We have a huge fan base all over the place that has just been waiting and chomping at the bit. Not that they didn't like our best of shows, but gosh, we've got some brand new wrestling that we want to talk to you about. But first, I want to kind of pull back the curtain real quick because a lot of people don't know that you're actually the editor of Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingo. So your hands and your fingerprints are all over this product.
Yeah, for the last few months, I've been editing the program and working with you a lot and with Maria, and it's a lot of fun to help put the show together every single week. And the feedback from everybody watching in Memphis every single week is always great. We love hearing from everybody. And especially the feedback that we get that helps us improve the show, like things that people love to see and the matches that they're enjoying and all the different, especially right now with all the shutdown, all the different things we've been doing with best of compilations and unique interviews and things like that. So it's definitely a lot of fun, working on this show behind the scenes and helping edit it and get it to air every single week. I couldn't ask for any better partners to work with than you and Maria. It's, in all honesty, it's a total blast.
Oh, man, I appreciate that. Last night at the Dave & Buster's watch party here in Memphis, I can't tell you how many people walked up and talked to us about Heather Monroe or Watts or Ray Rosa. So people here in Memphis they love the stuff, and they were telling me that they can't wait for the action to return. And I know that I asked you how you were doing because I know you got to be real tired. You had 2 full days of tapings for Championship Wrestling over the weekend. Now, I'm not asking you for spoilers, but man, John, give us the scoop. What's going on over there?
Well, I can tell you this without a spoiler. You're going to see a lot of brand new stars in action, new exciting matches, new stories to be told, a lot of great wrestling action over the last couple of days out here. And I can't wait for everyone at home to see what we've got coming up. Our first episode is going to be absolutely amazing, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. I can't wait till we are able to return. But I'll tell you what, behind the scenes, if I could peel back the curtain on this for a second,
yeah.
The whole process of going back into production was absolutely something to behold. We worked very closely with the state, with the county governments, to make sure that everything was safe, practicing social distancing guidelines throughout production. We're following a lot of Studio Guild guidelines that are being put in place, even by Hollywood, by the Hollywood industry of what they are all doing. So we're following a lot of those same guidelines. Everyone that worked on the show, from wrestlers, production staff, everyone had to go get a COVID test ahead of time. Everyone had to present their COVID test, temperatures taken at the door, masks are on at all times until you're on camera, and then also social distancing and spacing all throughout the building. So it's definitely a little weird, definitely a little unique, and especially walking into the building and there being no fans in attendance.
Yeah,
that's the big thing. So you're going to see a little bit of a unique presentation for Championship Wrestling. The way it's shot, the way it's just slightly different, but it's still the same Championship Wrestling action that you've come to know and love, presented by Pro Shingle every single week. So I think everyone is really going to enjoy it.
Now, I've got to ask you this just for my own personal, and I know that there are fans out there that are wondering too. I have never taken the COVID test, so I haven't had to take that test just yet. I know it's coming, and I know that you've taken a couple. Is it really as bad as what they say it is? Tell me how that feels.
Well, it all depends. If you're lucky and you get the oral swab, it's not too bad.
Okay.
Because it's self-administered and it's not that bad. It's just like it's softer than brushing your teeth.
I'll take that one.
If you get the one where they tickle the part of your frontal lobe through your nasal cavity, that's a little different. That tickles.
Wow.
But all
I
in
did
all,
not know.
even
I didn't know.
even that little bit of discomfort is totally worth it.
Man, I didn't know that they had a mouth swab now. That sounds like heaven compared to the one that I've heard where they go into your brain almost.
Yeah, the luckily here in Los Angeles, where I am, they have the oral swab option as an availability, and it's a drive-up test. It's here in California. They made it very accessible to everybody, and they're free to everybody as well, which is great. They're handling that very well, yeah, it's not that bad. But sometimes you go to a drive-up one and you're like thinking it's an oral test, and you get there, they're like, "All right, please jam this into your brain," and you're like, "Oh, well, okay." Yeah. Right. I guess.
Now, we've all seen behind the scenes pictures.
But no, it's not that bad.
Of course, I've been out there to the Ocean View Pavilion, and it seems like it would be way different. We've seen the backstage, in the locker room and stuff, and it's like a bunch of wrestlers crammed into a room, like any other locker room. I know that there weren't fans there, and I know that there were masks and tests and things like that, but like behind the scenes, what was kind of different as far as the boys and girls that were back there and just the overall locker room, how was that different or weird? Because I know it's got to be weird. Usually we're crammed in there like sardines, and now it's just a whole different ball game.
Yeah, we utilize there's kind of a patio area that's got a little bit more space outside of the locker room there. If we're gonna peel back the curtain that far, so there's definitely enough space at the Ocean View Pavilion that we could socially distance the locker room. And right now it's the time of year where we're not too worried about the weather because it's absolutely gorgeous out there on the coast, and there's enough space to really let everyone spread out. Everyone's wearing their masks in the locker room, literally up until the second that they walk through the curtain, they've got their mask on. And as soon as they come back through, the mask is back up. As far as the different friends and relationships that are throughout the locker room and that camaraderie, everyone was really happy to see each other again. It's been 5 months since a lot of us have seen each other. So it was almost like a family reunion, getting to go back and see a lot of people and catch up and see some people with some quarantine beards, see some people with some nice haircuts that, like, hey, your uncle did that, didn't you? Or your aunt or your mom or someone like that. And especially getting to see Jervis with he shaved. Little spoiler, okay. Jervis shaved.
All right.
He was able to go to a barber, but the hair on the back of that lemon skull is definitely getting a little long as well. So a teensy spoiler.
That is too funny. You mentioned that there were some tapings and everything that happened. I don't know if this is something you can indulge of how many tapings there were, but most importantly, everybody wants to know, when will that footage hit their television sets? When can we expect that?
I can tell you that we definitely shot a lot of television over the weekend, over the course of 2 days. Many matches that I can't wait for everybody to see. Some really fantastic wrestling from a lot of your favorite stars, and as I mentioned before, some new stars, some people you've never seen before on Championship Wrestling going to make their debut, and a lot of exciting moments. Very action-packed, and especially Memphis. Memphis is very much going to enjoy this show, and they can look forward to seeing those brand new episodes coming to CW30 on Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle on September 5th.
Wow. Okay, so the 29th is this Saturday. So you're not talking about this Saturday. You're talking about next Saturday, September 5th. We're going to have brand new in-ring action.
Yes, sir. That is the plan. Card subject to change, but that is the plan.
Very, very cool. Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to join us here on the Championship Wrestling podcast presented by BFree CBD. I've got to ask you, did you wear pants this time? You know how we've been filming from the waist up for so long. We wear shorts and sandals and everything else.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you this. I definitely wore pants. I wore my comfiest sneakers possible. I did not put on dress shoes. And if you don't mind another little spoiler, peek back the curtain. There may or may not be a photo circulating social media of one David Marquez about to do a backstage interview in his chanclas.
Oh my!
He's wearing his full suit, but he is wearing his chanclas and not his dress shoes.
I don't doubt it.
But I will let everyone at home, when the episodes air, I'll let everyone at home guess which one it was.
Very, very cool. All right, last question before I let you go. United Wrestling Network Prime Time Live debuts on Tuesday, September 15th. Will we see Jon Roberts a part of that program?
I will definitely be there. I'm not sure in what capacity, but I will definitely be there in Thunder Studios, helping the United Wrestling Network, who I love being a part of, present Primetime Live in conjunction with the United Wrestling Network and Thunder Studios from Long Beach, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, live on pay-per-view, on in-demand pay-per-view, and on the fight. Make sure you keep a close eye on social media over the next couple of weeks because the action's going to pick up soon as we gear into that. And you may never know what may be announced on social media in the coming weeks. But I tell you what, if any of the matches that I've heard thrown out as ideas come to fruition, it's going to be one heck of a show. And you never know who's going to show up. That's the best thing about Primetime Live. You really never know who's going to show up. And I'm really hoping that one day there's a certain, well, let me just say this. 5-star?
Oh,
Did I get that right?
Oh, yeah.
5-star? Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I think someone needs to get on a plane from Memphis and come out to Long Beach one weekend.
We can absolutely make that happen. I think I will clear my schedule for that. And I wanted to see if you were not necessarily be on camera, but even if you're behind the camera, we got to have you back on so we can get the scoop on that too, man.
Absolutely, anytime. I'm happy to come back anytime. And yeah, and in regards to Primetime Live, I'm not sure what I'm doing yet, whether I'm in front of the camera or behind, but I will definitely be there. And I'd be happy to come on here and talk about Primetime Live with the United Wrestling Network anytime.
Awesome. Thank you, Jon.